Hello ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our 6th C++ tutorial. In this tutorial, we want to talk about text data types. When it comes to text, the first one I'll introduce to you is the char. Char is a text data type, and char is used to hold single letters. So I'll create a variable myLetter and equals to d semicolon. Alright, so what I've done here is to create a variable called char, and I've assigned a value d. Char stands for character, and char can only hold a single character. Sometimes in your programming you may have to store single characters, and anytime you have to store single characters, the right data type to use is char. Don't use string when you want to store single characters, because string is used to store multiple characters. So I'll create a variable string my message, and I'll assign hello world semicolon. Alright, so notice the difference. Char can only store single characters. String can store multiple characters. And so anytime we want to write a full message, we use the data type string. Now notice another difference. Anytime you use char, make sure you use single quotes, and anytime you use string, make sure you use double quotes. So with char, we have single quotes, string, double quotes. Char, single letter, string, multiple letters. So these are the two additional data types I've introduced to you. Numeric data types do not have any quotations. Character data types have single quotes, and double quotes are for string. Now let's print out what we have here and see. Let me just come here and put the C out here, my letter and L. Let me enter C out, my message and L. Now let me save and run it. So now you can see we have D, we have hello world, we have our quantity, unit cost, total cost right here. This is beautiful. Let me make some small changes. Instead of just printing D, I'll come back here and say C out my letter is, then the variable will show, and here I will say my message to the world is, then the variable will show. Over here, let me separate by adding another and L. Alright, let's run this and see what we will get. This is beautiful. So now we have my letter is D, my message to the world is hello world. Alright, so right now I have introduced you to 5 data types. We have the int, we have the float, we have the double, we have the char, we have the string, and I'm sure they are all clear to you by now. The last data type I'll be introducing to you is a very special one. It is called the boolean data type. And in computer programming, anytime you hear boolean, what comes to mind is binary. That is 0 and 1. It can also be true or false, yes or no. But a boolean data type can only take values with 2 states. That is true or false, or 0 or 1. Now to create a boolean data type, you need to create it as bool and give your variable name. So I will create my bool as payment status, and I'll say equals to true. Alright, so when it comes to boolean data type, it is used for any true or false result you want to store. Let's say you want to store the result of a payment in a variable, and you want to find out whether the payment has been made or not. So you can use bool for true, that means the payment has been made, or false, that means the payment has not been made. And so in C++, anytime you have a true or false decision to store, you need to store it as a bool. Now let me demonstrate this with an if statement. So I'll say if payment status C out payment has been received successfully, Then I'll come here and say else, see out, access denied, payments failed, and L. All right. So what I have here, first of all, says bool payment is equal to true, and I use this if statement to check. Now this means that if payment is true, then see out this message, payment has been received successfully. Else, and this means if payment is not true, then see out, access denied, payment failed. So this is how we write a true or false if statement. Let's go ahead and run this and see what we will get. And watch this. Payment has been received successfully. My letter is D. My message to the world is hello world. Quantity 7. Unit cost $49.95. Total cost $349.65. So all our data types are working. Let me come here and change payment status to false. And let's run it and see. When we run this, we are going to get access denied, payment failed. And so when it comes to the bool data type, we use it in situations where we have true or false, or 0 or 1. Let me change this to a 0 and let's see what will happen. Let's run again. Access denied, payment failed. That means 0 is equal to false. Let's change it to a 1 and run it and see. Excellent. It says payment has been received successfully. That means 1 is equal to true, 0 is equal to false. Let me change it back to true over here, because this is how we actually use the bool. And over here, let me add a see out like this and say see out, payment status is payment status, and L. Let's try this and see. Excellent. So it says payment has been received successfully. Payment status is 1. My letter D, message to the world, hello world. And so notice here that we received 1. In the code, payment status is true, but the result is given us is 1. That means when it comes to the bool data type, anytime the result is true, what will be printed in the console will be 1. And anytime the result is false, what will be printed is 0. Again, with a bool, true will return 1 and false will return 0. Alright, so we have successfully made use of all the 6 data types that you'll be using in C++. There are other data types, but we'll look at those ones at advanced levels. For now, almost every C++ program you'll be creating will make use of these 6 data types. Remember, we have the int, we have the float, double, char, string, and bool. So thank you for joining me in this tutorial. In my next tutorial, I'll be explaining important things. If you have any question, type it in the comment box and I will answer you. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you want to be receiving more tutorials from me. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.